Hello, everyone. It's me again, Sam Wong from Financial Analytics Services team. You can see I'm not sounding very well. For those who listen to my video, knew that I actually have symptoms of COVID starting last Saturday. Monday, I went to testing, and unfortunately, the large volume of people in line, and it's free testing, and despite what government said was true, but it took forever. So instead of 3 or 4 days getting a result, I actually only got it yesterday, which took like 5 days. So during that time, I'm just because I'm suspected I had COVID, I started quarantining myself, which I think everyone who has and suspected to be the case, even if false alarm, should take the social responsibilities in trying to quarantine and don't unaware. So I think what I'm trying to say is the messaging is very important. That a lot of people didn't get a clear message from the government on companies. Companies want people to go back to work, but they just don't understand it. And so I'm broadcasting before I start talking about stock market, which is obviously money. Health is very important, and I think everyone hopefully will really have more sympathy around the people that they got COVID and either sick or died. Even yes, everything said is true that this is more mild than Delta. Sick has never been a joke and a good thing. So the first day I was having fever pretty bad. Second day I had less fever, but I have a bad headache and so on. And I was coughing not a lot, but I had a little bit sore throat. And mostly what was really killing me is I'm really, really tired. My muscle was very sore, and I knew it was different than just cold and flu, because in cold and flu, yes, I could be a little tired, but not into that extent of level. So, in my case, there were really these type of symptoms. I don't have runny noses until very end. Like a couple of days ago, I had a little runny noses, but not much. So unfortunately, it took so long to get the results. So again, despite government say it's true and stuff, you really should learn from Asia Pacific how China or other countries can do a much quicker testing, and especially getting a reliable result as well. Because I heard some of my friend trying to test at home, so he would do it the day one negative, and the next day he would be positive. And also the quick test, it also deemed to be not very accurate. So if you would have to do it, you probably want to do the most accurate one. Just make sure that you don't have to take it again. So at this point, a rest, and also definitely take a lot of flu, because you need a lot of water to just flush your system. So I actually drink a lot more than. So again, I hope people will have a lot more sympathy about it, get more positive understanding of what is going on, and even though it doesn't kill you, but it make you still lose productivity, and it's not fun. That's why we shouldn't be passing on other people, especially for those you love. So this is the picture to give you clearly, without really have to talk about what happened in the market. It's mostly now driven by the Treasury yield, and the Treasury yield, unfortunately, has gone up to 1.8% last week at some point. So I'm looking at if the NASDAQ will be rebounding, that if it coming back to 1.5%, I always told you guys. So the quick recap is S&P 500 in 2021 had a marvelous year, a 27% return, and the first day new year was also sparking a record high for the index. But then you also start to be used and actually coming back down with the concern about the Federal Reserve. How actually we elected in that case, but of course there's a lot of questions and challenges about fairness, and why would these board of directors actually buying stock and they know what they want to do with tapering. So again, is this a corruption or what? I don't know, but you guys go figure. Because and so now, and it's also more interesting about thing is if these people are called expert and they have a PhD or better degree than we are, how would they so firm up a few months ago and keep saying it's transitionary, instead of now turn to saying, hey, it's not, it's really, we really think it's here to stay. And that's what they're going to do, is start to adding interest rate and asset tapering to basically driving the inflation going down. But with that, all respect, I mean, the inflation was still being pressured in many different areas. Biden had done trying to drive the oils going down by having excess supply from the reserve, but that actually only worked the day one and day two. The market did dropped to $60 with the actually worry about the pandemic, but then you rebounded to actually now over $80 a barrel. So whether the policy really effective, again, I subject you to think about these economic fact. These policy does have a strict and direct impact to the stock market. So I'm not gonna I'm not expert. I can't forecast what will happen or speculate in it, but I'm just saying it's out there. And the other thing is Biden trying to want to decrease the price of beef. I'm not sure how much success he has so far. When is he actually going to execute the pact? But if you believe in the free enterprise, which is what America is based on, then why is suddenly now the government will be able to control oil prices and beef? So it's kind of contradicting if you think about it, right? And yet they made a decision to stimulate and create more money, and we actually benefit from it. I hate to tell you that, yeah, when I lost my job, yes, I did get a stimulus, but how much we talking about? I mean, they signed it as big as a pizza. Who are the people benefit from it, right? And yet now I pay for the price. I had a problem, getting a job that's supposed to be where you were before pre-pandemic, but I don't want to, really create debt and just use my credit card swipe or refinancing the house or whatever. So again, I hope the economy will turn around, and that would be one consideration or argument why we're not shutting down. I'm not saying shutting down is necessary, but definitely better policy and control what's going on. And a lot of time it's really the personal mindset about, you have it, then act what you say you will, right? And I think a lot of people, they don't think they will be them ever going to get COVID, like Omicron. They heard about that people getting that, but they would say, yeah, you should be quarantined, but when that happened to them, they don't. So be trying to do what you really mean to do and be sympathetic about these people and trying to understanding the rest of the world, what's going on in Europe and China, in Asia, why they're doing what they're doing, right? I mean, that's another thing is we need to learn from them and see what is the best practice. Regardless the market, the Federal Reserve was actually worried about it, but then on Tuesday when Powell made a statement about the balance sheet, it sounds to calm the market. So all the big tech, Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Google were kind of rebounding. AMD would jump 5% as well. So the Tuesday market was pretty good. Oil price continued to uptick, and because it was kind of crude inventory fell about 1 million barrels for the weekend of January 1st. So some of the energy companies, Oxy, P66, World Shell is all up quite a bit. And World Shell now for Friday hitting $50, which is like last time when they announced the share buyback, they were up there, but then after a day and they slipped it back to $43, just FYI. And the Asian market also, Hong Kong, Hang Seng Index have been suffering very, very poorly lately because of the poor macroeconomic factors and the political, upset, so it was going down quite a bit to 23,000 point, but which is the base point, and then you kind of rebound back to 24,000, which is kind of good. And Chinese New Year, like I said before, it probably drive the market to be more optimistic, and typical in the past, you look at it, Chinese New Year shapes some new hope. So you want to start with a good happening, just like the U.S. The first day of New Year, the market surge bullish to record high. So I look forward to some of these Chinese stocks like Pinduoduo rebound. It dropped from $212 again down to $48 for potential delisting on these new government regulations. But then now lately have rebound back to $60 a share. Bilibili is still suffering from that perspective, but Tencent also rebound quite a bit from the low ends along with Alibaba. And it's kind of suggesting Bank of China actually will also have a leeway to losing monetary policy further, and that's just how you kind of look at why the market has been rebounded quite a bit. The CPI index came slightly after expected in December. Wednesday, CPI inflation is 39-year high. So despite the market still a positive territory, NASDAQ up more than 1% intraday on those, and 10-year Treasury note has slipped from 1.8% down a little bit, and jobless claim unfortunately had jumped back 23,000 to 230,000, which is a little bit higher than the forecast, but still a pretty good indication that the market is still looking for a lot of people, and it's just of January better in mind. So normally there will be a lot more hiring in the first quarter coming. So we'll see. Hopefully my friends will get a job very soon. I still know number of people actually to switch it to totally different industry, like to real estate or financial setting or insurance company, just because they have been too long didn't have a job, or a few people still looking. So if I hear good news from them, they find a job that is more in line with what they expected, or definitely will share with you. That's quite shape a light of reality that the market has improved. Despite that, global, nationally, I know U.S. The unemployment rate have announced 3.9% or 4.2% in that range, which is remarkably strong even pre-pandemic. But unfortunately, again, bear in mind, these jobs are very low-paid jobs that they are creating, and most of them are seasonal jobs due to the Christmas pickup. And then Facebook, Google, Amazon, Apple, except Amazon actually, were kind of rebounded on Friday. Bank actually, JP Morgan report earnings, but still very solid. But then the stock not with that very favorable, it dropped $10 roughly for the day. Talk between the U.S. and Russia over Ukraine broke down with them making progress overnight. So the European gas has gone up again. What they are facing, and in China, northern China, they're facing very cold weather, which they really need coal. Well, coal is the bad way. Actually, they want gas to burn to keep themselves warm. So, that's why the prices were up, and also because of the demand, you're pushing the oil price up as well. FAMG rebound, and at the end of the week, Tesla in at 1,049.61, robust RBLX slightly below $80 at $79. I think this stock, is still very popular, and then in terms of the platform, a lot of kids playing around and spending a lot of time every day. And also, if you look at last quarter, just find last quarter, the trend, you will see it was from 70 some plus up to $80. Then from that point, you just go back up to 110 because of the earnings announcement. So, their earnings announcement will be coming to obviously probably later February, because they just announced the previous quarter. It looks like a long time, but it's actually not. So I really expected they were going to do well. And the cruise and airline stock were up because of Thursday Delta announcement of their earnings better than expected. So cruise is still kind of around where they were, but again, from the long-term perspective, I still think these will be good despite the outbreak of Omicron. People really understanding that, we just have to, we human beings, we just have a way to cope with the situation and do the best we can. But again, all I'm saying is, even with vaccination, I have vaccinated and I have wear masks all the time, I still got Omicron. So the transmission for Omicron is a lot larger than Delta, but they are much more mild. So hospitalization rate actually dropped a little bit last week in U.S. The total number of COVID-related deaths in U.S. Is highest since October. The world has 323 million cases. In U.S. has 65.9 million cases. 863,727 people dead in U.S. 21% people test positive. And really, I read an article saying that they expect that America will have half of the population will get COVID at the end of the day. So, I mean, I don't know how long, but the article basically saying because of the way with the pace and the model, and they love to do model and predict the future, and saying, we have no way to cure this COVID really. So, and this will mutate. Like in France, they have an IHU new one variant, but I don't think they're very severe right now. So the news not even talk much about it. It's only like less than hundreds of people actually got that virus. So again, hopefully since the end of November, U.S. is about 3 million cases. Some of them actually they test at home. They never reported to the public numbers. So just bear that in mind. So this number properly understated. So at the end of the day, I hope, again, I want to socialize here that when my friends and people near you that I care about, be really careful about Omicron. Don't underestimate the transmissibility. Really trying to continue practice social distancing if you can. Wear masks even though it's not fully protected no matter what. And, at least you got to have 2 shots of vaccination, so that to protect you. Because there's a different theory that in Hong Kong and China saying, hey, the 3rd shot only if you are 6 months later, otherwise you're really not making sense to shot it. And I mean, we hear story about people taking a shot and get sick as well. So that's where they're coming from too. So again, I think it's important for people not to think your way is the right way, but trying to be open-minded, understanding where people, there's always a reason why people don't do the things even the government told them to, right? I mean, we just need to understand that a little bit better and have more sensibility around that and respect them. CPI prices and truck rose 3.5% month, year to date 30.3%. Just shows you some statistic of inflation in US. Used the car, new vehicle rose 1% and 11.85% a year ago. Food also raised 0.6% compared to December, but I definitely felt that it's a lot more than 0.6%. I mean, if I go to buy a can of pineapple, it used to cost $1, now it costs $1.20. I go to buy some beef, it used to be I get a pack for $10 that I can eat quite full time. Now it probably cost $15. And so sometimes it's very hard to tell too, because I tend to buy a lot of time buy on sales item. I don't buy the normal price, so to speak, because normal price and the discount item itself can have 25% differences there. So again, just to bear that in mind. And energy prices, you said fell, but again, we know WTI is currently over $80 a barrel. Hopefully, next week will be another good week as company continue to report robust earnings and resilience and continue to show the progress that their valuation really worth the money they are on the stock in terms of price per share. I look forward to this upstream, with the yield curve dropping that down to below 1.6%, if not lower, to have the whole atmosphere still look good and enjoy the ride, and then maybe that's the time I will tell you probably consider to be profit taking. Thank you.